Okay, let's continue working on this basic standard variance analysis, problem 8-13A. And this time we'll tackle part 3, which doesn't appear on the screen. We get bits of part 2, but part 3 doesn't appear at the bottom. So I'll read that. It says compute the variable overhead spending and efficiency variances, and then we will answer the question, what relation can you see between efficiency variance and the labor efficiency variance? All right, let's slide on down and work on this one. All right, now the variable overhead spending variance is equal to the actual hours times actual rate minus the standard rate. We're talking about variable overhead here. Okay, so we've got to calculate the various pieces here. First, we need to come up with what that actual hours were, and we already have that as 5760, so we can jot that down. Let me expand this a little bit so we can see it. Okay, then the actual rate of overhead is equal, we have to do a calculation. We've got to look back over here, and we look at our notes, and we said they incurred 16,416, and they used 760 hours. And we're seeing that variable manufacturing overhead is applied at $3 per hour. So if we come over here, we need to jot in those numbers, which is 16,416 of actual overhead divided by the 5,760 of actual hours, right? And so what that comes out to be is 285, and that represents our actual variable overhead rate. Okay, that needs to say actual. And the standard variable overhead rate was given as $3. Okay, so I'll format that here, and that $3 came from just right above my mouse right there, $3 per hour. So now we can slide this down again, do our calculation. Let me expand this just a little bit here. And so we would take, well, again, I think I can copy from here and it will reverse the sign the way I want to see it. Yeah. So we take the actual hours, and then we take standard minus actual, and therefore if the number comes out positive, it's favorable. If it's negative, it's unfavorable. So we actually had a favorable spending variance. And the official, this would be called the variable overhead spending variance, but I'll just label it as favorable spending variance. Okay, let me slide up a little bit, and we can work on the variable overhead efficiency variance. And this is always equal to the standard rate times the actual overhead allowed. Ours is in terms of hours, right? Times the standard overhead allowed in terms of hours. Okay. Again, I'll expand this a little bit so we can see it clearly. Okay, we know that the standard rate is equal to the $3 per hour, so I'll just copy that there. And the actual hours rate, now we'd have to multiply it by the hours. The difference in the hours used times the rate per hour gets us the variable overhead. So the actual hours we used was 5,760, and the standard called for 5,460. Okay? Again, if I copy this formula down, slide this down to where we've shown the calculation, Let's see if it works right. We get the $3 times the standard less the actual. Therefore, we'll know if it's favorable or unfavorable. And we have an unfavorable overhead efficiency variance. Okay, and that takes care of number 3, other than the last part of the question, which says, what relation can you see between the efficiency variance and the labor efficiency variance? And hopefully you see that they move in the same direction. Both the labor efficiency variance and the variable overhead efficiency variance are computed based on actual labor hours to standard labor hours. Therefore, if labor efficiency variance is unfavorable, then the variable overhead efficiency variance will be unfavorable as well. And that's all there is to this problem. Thanks, everyone.